Hey guys, I am Game Advisor and welcome back to another Icarus video. Today we're going to be starting a new series where we go over the new updates that Icarus is bringing to the table and what they're going to be changing about the game. I'm going to talk about my personal opinions on it as well as just what they actually are. So let's get started. So let's go ahead and start down here. We're going to be doing this part where it says responding to your most requested suggestions. We're just going to skip this top part since it's really just them saying, hey, we're working on stuff right now. It says, while we typically just talk about what is included in each week's update, I would like to take a moment to address some of the most common issues raised on our feature upvote page, and some updates that you can expect to see in the coming weeks. We look at the reports from feature upvote every week to see what the most common issues are, and it seems like they try to prioritize basically what's going on here. Sometimes reworking features and testing can take several weeks before we can share them with you. Okay, skippable intro. This is one I know a lot of people have been really frustrated with. It says there is a common misconception that our intro video is not skippable. It is actually a loading screen. While it plays, the game is also loading in the background. Once the loading is complete, you can skip the video by pressing any key. On slower machines, this may take some time, but on modern SSDs, it only takes a few seconds. I have my game on an SSD and it's a very modern machine and it still takes me, 10 plus seconds. And I think what people really want is to just not have to listen to the intro or be able to just go straight to the load screen so they don't have to listen to all that music because it is so loud, or at least let us turn it down. I think that's all people really want. I don't think people actually care if it's skippable. I think they care if they can turn down the music in it when they launch the game because it absolutely destroys your ears. We've added a text notification once loading is complete, so you'll know when you can press a key to skip. All right, that is a plus. No complaints there. I'm glad they at least put that in. In the future, we plan to add an auto skip option to the settings screen as well. That's great, but could we please just see a way to turn down the volume of the intro? I literally have to remove my headphones every time I launch the game because of it. It is so loud. If anybody knows how to do that, please let me know down below in the comments. All right, what else are we talking about? Resource balancing. Okay, this is a big issue that I know needs a lot of work. The session-based gameplay of Icarus presents many design challenges compared to a traditional survival game. Instead of engaging with tiers of content only once, players restart their progress dozens of times, so we've aimed to avoid arbitrary time sinks or item sinks. Have we though? Let's be real. Some of these things take way more materials than is really necessary, or you have to do things and run very far distances that I think a lot of people don't enjoy. Maybe that's just me, but let's keep going. Finding the right balance between resource availability, ease of collection, processing time, and resource requirements can be challenging, especially at the higher tiers where recipes have much more complex resource chains. Okay, great. I totally can understand that. We've listened to player feedback about Tier 3 and Tier 4, which is the one I think everybody's been having problems with, and the pacing of it and how it can feel like a grind. In this patch, we are starting the first steps of ensuring that resources are properly distributed throughout the entirety of the map to alleviate this. That's great. I want to see that. More materials in more places would be great. Obviously, we don't want vegetables in the desert. It just would break the immersion, but let's keep going. Most small and medium caves have had their voxel counts increased. I think they're talking about mineable nodes is what they're saying, in order to ensure that players are rewarded for seeking out and harvesting new caves. Great, love that. That's definitely something that's needed. Small caves only have 5 or 6 nodes in it. They're barely even worth your time. Several new caves have been added to the Riverlands. Great. That was probably the zone that needed that the least, in my personal opinion, but awesome. Dozens more coming across the rest of the map in the coming weeks. Glad to hear that. I think we definitely need more caves, and I think they need to be a little more obvious, too, for people to see. I think a lot of people, if you don't want to use a third-party app like Icarus Intel, have no way to find these caves, and they don't even realize they're behind stone walls. I think a mission to explain that early on would actually be pretty great. We have also decided to spread out the electronics requirements of the fabricator and the material processor to other machines in Tier 4. Great, those things were way too expensive. This is so that players aren't as front-loaded with gold requirements and can engage with the content more slowly over time. Great, I'm glad to be getting into Tier 4 a little quicker, and maybe the other stuff takes more, like the electric carpentry bench it's saying, the electric masonry bench, the material processor, chemistry bench have all had their recipes expanded and have started to become points of consolidation for crafting recipes from lower tiers. Again, maybe this is just me personally. I've never even bothered crafting them. They're just such a waste of time. I did it once, and after that, they just weren't worth it. Even if they have every recipe from all the previous benches, it's just not worth your time. Most of the time you want to get into the mission, you want to finish the mission and get out, unless you're in your outpost, of course. All right, talent points. Okay, this is a big controversial topic right here. Talent points limit and respec. They need to add this to the game. It is so frustrating not being able to do this. I don't care how they do it, just put it in. So this is by far the most talked about suggestion among our player community. Probably would agree with that. I think everybody wants this to be put in. And it is a big discussion topic internally within the RocketWorks team. Okay, great. Currently, you have a limited number of talent points and stop earning them once we reach level 40. We know all this. Well, you can specialize. Great. We can blah, 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 blah. We do intend to provide some way to respec or change how you have spent talent points at some stage, but it could have widespread consequences if not done right. Okay, I guess. I mean, right now the only consequence could be like people could change it every mission, slap like a 200 exotic cost on it just so there's an option for now, or maybe even put in 400 exotic costs, you know, something that would make people not want to do it every mission, but at least give us the option for people who have horrible specs like myself and need to change them. The specifics of exactly where it slots into the game are still at the design stage. Please continue to be patient. Oh my gosh. So basically they're saying, hey guys, we understand this is an issue, but we're not going to fix it right now. Guys, like, dev team, if you happen to watch this video, if anybody on the dev team just happens to watch this or someone knows someone on the dev team, please understand there are people who are like level 99 already and don't want to make a new character and love your game, but hate the fact that they have a horrible spec because they didn't even know you couldn't respec in the game. Please add this in. I don't care how overly priced you have to make it so that people don't abuse it. Just please put it in the game. Most of us only want to do it once. Heck, even just add in like the Christmas event where you revived everybody's characters and just give us a one-time thing where everybody gets one free chance to respec. That's all we're asking for, just at least something for now to hold us over. Okay, after that, they talk about some inventory sorting, which is great. I'm glad they're adding that. Not complaining, that would be great to have. Then it says, somebody said they want to hold their pickaxe and a lantern at the same time. That is a freaking great idea. I love this idea. Add a second inventory slot that can only hold like a flashlight or a torch or, you know, a lantern or something. 100% think that's a great addition to the game. Our plan to tackle this request is to add an entirely new slot to your character inventory. Thank you. Please add that into the game. This will allow you to, among other things, attach a lantern to your belt, ideal for mining in caves or at night. Perfect. Put it on your belt. You know, that's great. I just would like to also be able to maybe do it with a torch or a flashlight, you know, at least the higher tier things, maybe not a torch. I guess I could understand not having, but the ability to have something attached to you sounds great. There was some armor blocking the camera. I've personally never encountered this, but apparently it's affected a few people after you die. I'm not too worried about that one. Alrighty, here's the important stuff, which is the changelog. So let's go over this pretty quick. They said they added crops to the outpost. 100% great improvement that needed to be done. A lot of people couldn't do things. They added mushrooms to the Arctic caves. That's great. Mushrooms are finally in the game without having to purchase them through the workshop. 100% great addition. No complaints there. Increase the quantity of mineral deposits in many caves to increase the overall availability of resources. Hopefully you're talking about the small caves and the medium caves, because the large caves are honestly fine. I just think the small and medium need a little bit more because they're just not worth your time at this stage. They created new recipe sets for tier 4 crafting benches, including the electric carpentry bench, electric masonry bench, chemistry bench, which combine multiple lower tier recipes into the new machines. Okay, I'll have to see what that's about in game, but from my perspective, those benches are still pretty much worthless. So unless they have their own unique recipes that only they can craft, I don't really see the value in them, because the crafting speed increase we're talking about is like 20%, which is just not a big deal. Fixed crafting bench recipes not properly accounting for stats, which reduce resource cost. Okay, I did not know that was a thing, but good to know. So if you had a talent point in something that would reduce the cost of crafting something, now it actually works. Once again, another reason why we should be able to respec, even if it's just once. They've added several recipes to the carpentry bench that fit with the theme of home construction from the crafting table in player crafting. Okay, I'm just going to kind of have to see what that is in game when we get to it. Let's just kind of start speeding through these. Increased crafting queue from 5 to 10 entries on several tier 4 benches. Great, cool, whatever. Decreased the cost of early tier 4 benches. We already talked about this. The fabricator got reduced down by 30 electronics. That's great. They removed the steel ingot cost. That's great. Although it probably really wasn't the problem that people were having. Changed material processor from 80 to 60. Great addition. I'm glad they're reducing the cost for the electronics on that. Increased electronic cost of electrical masonry bench, carpentry bench, and chemistry bench to 20. Like, that's great. Again, the benches are still worthless. I just don't see the value in them unless I'm missing something out here. Let me know in the comments. Added new alternate recipes for composite paste, which can substitute the gold requirement with platinum. 100% great addition. Already having trouble finding gold in the game. I'm glad they made this an alternate recipe. I love that. Great addition right there. Reduced player crafting speed to be more in line with benches. Okay, I guess that's fine. I think benches should craft a little bit faster, but I don't think that's really was a big issue. Decreased crafting speed of stone and concrete building pieces. I mean, I guess, again, I don't think it was an issue. Decreased crafting speed of most mortar and pestle recipes. That just sounds honestly really annoying. I really hope it's not going to take me 3 years to craft tree sap. That just sounds really dumb. Decreased the crafting speed of herbalism recipes. Once again, never had an issue with that in the first place, but okay, I don't really want to spend even more time on missions just literally sitting there AFK. That is not a fun mechanic. Please understand that, devs. Sitting there AFK is not fun. Added text to indicate when loading is complete, and the intro video is now skippable. Again, we talked about that earlier. Great addition, not complaining, but please just let us turn the volume down on it, if nothing else. Fixed issue where bosses could sometimes not spawn in broken arrow recovery. And then it seems like it's just a bunch of random little bug fixes. Moved wild squash plants from the forest to the desert biome. Why is this an issue? Why do we need squashes growing? I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm no, farmer or anything. I don't know anything about plants in real life, but do squash grow in the desert? Is that where they're naturally found? Squash I don't think are found in the desert. Maybe they are. Whatever. It's a weird change to me. I didn't think it was an issue in the first place, but okay. They removed some instances of trees placed inside mountains. Cool. A bunch of other bug fixes. Improved visuals, performance. And it just looks like a bunch of other performance and other minor bug fixes. Okay, cool. So I think they have some great additions here, but at the end of the day, two things I really would love to see from this dev team as soon as possible is, one, please fix the intro. No one cares about whether or not we can skip it if it's the load screen. We just want to be able to turn down the volume. I think people are mistakenly saying they want to skip it, when really what they're saying is they don't want to listen to it. So if you could please just make that an option in the settings to just turn down the launch cinematic volume, or just automatically skip it and give me just a black screen with a loading circle, that would be great. That is a huge thing I think people want. And then the last thing I think that is really big here is dev team, once again, if you're listening, talent points. We need a way to respec. I don't care how expensive. Make it 1,000 exotics. I prefer not that much. I think that'd be a little crazy, but you know what? Just give us some way to respec, or give us one free respec. I have so many talent points, and I know so many of my friends do, and so much of our community does, that are completely useless or very, very bad. They do not work now that we know how the game works. So please give us a way to respec. I don't care how you do it for the time being. You can balance it later. Make it overpriced for now so that you can work on the balance, so that we at least have the option to do it. That's all we're asking for. Just give us some way, give us a one-time use, anything. With all that being said, that is going to be it for today's Icarus update. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found some more information or learned something about the game, like mushrooms are in it now. Hey, poggers. I think that's great. I can't believe I just said poggers, but anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Game Advisor, and I'll see you guys in the next one.